Welcome to our historical series, where we unravel extraordinary tales from the past. Today, we're delving into a tragic and controversial event in American history, the Waco Siege, also known as the Waco Massacre. The Waco Siege was a 51-day standoff between the Branch Davidians religious sect and the United States government. It began on February 28, 1993, and ended on April 19, 1993, with 82 Branch Davidians losing their lives. The tragic incident still sparks debates and discussions about government overreach, religious freedom, and the use of force. The Branch Davidians emerged from the Shepherd's Rod, or Davidians, which was itself an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Shepherd's Rod's origins traced back to Victor Houteff, an immigrant visionary who prophesied the imminent return of Jesus Christ. Following Houteff's demise in 1955, his widow, Florence, foretold Armageddon's arrival in April 1959. Yet this prediction fell flat. The aftermath of the failed prophecy ushered in Benjamin Roden, an ex-disciple of Houteff, who took control of the Mount Carmel compound near Waco, Texas. Roden had birthed the General Association of Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventists, or Branch Davidians, preaching the pursuit of moral enlightenment for Christ's return. When Roden passed in 1978, control went to his wife, Lois. Later, a showdown loomed between their son, George Roden, and the charismatic Vernon Wayne Howell. Howell, later known as David Koresh, had stirred controversy by engaging in a relationship with Lois, who was several decades his senior. A power struggle ensued, splitting the group and culminating in a gun battle and George Roden's imprisonment. Ultimately, Howell emerged as the victor. Howell attracted many new followers to the Branch Davidians, but also implemented practices that were controversial to people outside of the sect. Howell said that God told him to procreate with the women in the group. Married couples were separated and had to agree that only he could have sex with the wives. The other men were to remain celibate. Howell legally changed his name to David Koresh in 1990. For his surname, Koresh was thought to have been drawing on the biblical name of Cyrus the Great, a Persian king. David was taken from King David, the first king of Israel. The Branch Davidians soon came under scrutiny by law enforcement and the media. The seeds of the Waco Siege were sown in 1992, when suspicions arose that the Branch Davidians were amassing illegal weapons. A UPS driver's report of a package containing grenades breaking open during delivery prompted the McLennan County Sheriff's Department to alert the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, or the ATF. Reports of automatic gunfire emanating from the Mount Carmel compound heightened concerns. The ATF embarked on covert surveillance. Agents posed as students from a local technical college, attempting to blend in across the road from the compound. This ruse proved ineffective as the undercover agents were in their 30s, had new cars, and were not registered at the local schools. An undercover agent named Robert Rodriguez was also sent into the compound. The ATF's suspicions crystallized into a planned raid when a search warrant was obtained, alleging that the Branch Davidians were modifying firearms for illegal automatic fire capabilities. However, the ATF's execution of the raid was fraught with mishaps. Constantly shifting raid dates, and a newspaper's impending expose on the religious sect created confusion and frustration. The Waco Tribune-Herald published the first of its series of articles on Koresh, called The Sinful Messiah, on February 27. In these articles, the paper alleged that Koresh was physically abusing children and accused him of statutory rape by taking underage brides. The next day, on a Sunday morning, the ATF launched their assault. The ADF's element of surprise vanished when a local TV reporter, seeking directions from a postman who happened to be Koresh's brother-in-law, tipped off the Branch Davidians. Chaos soon ensued, leading to a deadly shootout. Both sides claimed the other had fired the first shot. Koresh had initially commanded male followers to take defensive positions, and women and children to seek refuge. The ADF agents, clad in SWAT-style gear, found themselves engaged in a protracted firefight. Amidst the chaos, Koresh was wounded in the hand and stomach. Group member Wayne Martin called emergency services early, pleading for the ADF to stop shooting. But by the time Sheriff Lieutenant Lynch of the McLennan County Sheriff Department intervened, negotiating a temporary truce, the damage was done. 4 ADF agents were killed during the firefight and 16 were injured. 6 Branch Davidians died in the raid. The ADF's inability to quell the situation led to the FBI taking charge of negotiations. Koresh, once able to communicate with the media, was soon isolated by the FBI. The negotiators reached a deal for the group to release 19 children, aged from 5 months to 12 years old, who were without their parents. The FBI claimed that interviews with these children revealed that they had been physically and sexually abused, and later used this as justification to use tear gas to force the group out of the compound. A videotape sent to the FBI by the Branch Davidians depicted a defiant Koresh surrounded by his wives and children. The video aimed to show that the group was not being held against their will. Meanwhile, Koresh's theological musings created a puzzle for FBI agents, some of whom advocated for negotiation, while others pushed for forceful resolution. The FBI's tactics took a darker turn. They resorted to psychological warfare, subjecting the compound to blaring jet plane recordings. Nancy Sinatra's song "These Boots Are Made for Walking" and the disturbing sounds of slaughtered rabbits. Tanks demolished the compound's surroundings, and basic amenities were cut off, forcing the group to rely on rainwater and rations. As time went on, Koresh's reluctance to surrender persisted. Koresh proclaimed that he was the second coming of Christ and told negotiators that he had been commanded by his Father in heaven to remain in the compound. The FBI grew increasingly impatient. They considered using snipers to kill Koresh and possibly other key Branch Davidians. They were also concerned that the Branch Davidians might commit mass suicide, though Koresh had repeatedly denied any such plans. On April 14, Koresh released a letter in which he claimed to be writing down an interpretation of the 7 seals of the Book of Revelation and promised to exit the compound as soon as it was completed. But the FBI chose not to wait and instead decided on a controversial decision to employ tear gas in an effort to draw the Branch Davidians out of the compound. On April 19, 1993, the FBI blew holes in the walls of the buildings and pumped in tear gas. The plan was to increase the amount of gas over 2 days to increase pressure on the group to leave. But things quickly went wrong, and fires ignited within the compound. Whether the fires were deliberately ignited by the Davidians or the FBI, or accidentally sparked by the tear gas remains disputed to this day. Only 9 people left the building during the fire. The remaining Branch Davidians, including the children, were buried alive by rubble or suffocated by smoke or carbon monoxide. Others, including Koresh, were shot, which inspectors concluded was likely out of mercy as they were trapped in the fire with no escape. The aftermath of the Waco siege was a somber tableau of destruction. 76 Branch Davidians died in the fire, in addition to the 6 deaths from the raid. There was intense public scrutiny and controversy. Questions were raised about the FBI's tactics, the role of the media, and the responsibility for the tragic loss of life. Criticisms ranged from the FBI's handling of negotiations to allegations of excessive force. The catastrophe ignited debates over government overreach, religious liberty, and the use of force, and became a rallying point for those skeptical of government power. The lessons learned from the Waco siege continue to shape our understanding of crisis management and negotiation strategies. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support. Until next time, farewell.